Well, for the first time in more than 20 years, the life expectancy for Americans is declining. So, Doc, here's the headline from the Wall Street Journal. Nation's death rate rises as progress against heart disease stalls.
In Healthy Living tonight, a groundbreaking study. We know that women are at risk for heart attacks, and even younger women are at risk, and yet they and their doctors don't always recognize the symptoms.
We were planning to bring you this next story even before we got word of the sudden death of Gary Shandling from an apparent heart attack at just 66 years old. There's a new study from doctors at the Cleveland Clinic reporting that victims of the deadliest form of heart attacks are actually getting younger. The average age now just 60.
Thousands of Americans take painkillers to treat inflammation, but a new study suggests those pills could have an adverse effect on your health.
This is a heart attack. A fatty deposit or plaque has ruptured, blocking the supply of blood to the artery above it, starving it of oxygen.
The American Heart Association says cardiovascular disease kills 16,000 women under the age of 55 every year. We're joined by Belinda Jenkins, who suffered a heart attack at the age of 26.
But the evidence just got even stronger for food as medicine.
Dad, what are you doing?
I can't come home tonight.
But what about football?
I'm not going to be around anymore, so...
When are you coming back?
I'm sorry.
I don't understand that.
You look after your mum.
Dad.
Bye, Ben.
Dad.
Ben? Can you come with me, please?
Cleveland Clinic researchers have now confirmed that food can heal your heart. Their study published in the journal Family Practice found that a plant-based diet not only prevents heart attacks, but can actually reverse the damage. First of all, out of the patients who tried the vegan diet, almost 9 out of 10 stuck with it. 81% had fewer symptoms and experienced fewer complications from heart disease. A whopping 22% reversed signs of heart disease. And the participants lost almost 20 pounds each on average.
Cardiovascular disease, listed as the underlying cause of death, accounts for nearly 836,546 deaths in the U.S. every year. That's about 1 of every 3 deaths in the U.S. About 2,300 Americans die of cardiovascular disease each day, an average of 1 death every 38 seconds. Cardiovascular diseases claim more lives each year than all forms of cancer and chronic lower respiratory diseases combined. About 92.1 million American adults are living with some form of cardiovascular disease or the after effects of stroke. Direct and indirect costs of total cardiovascular diseases and stroke are estimated to total more than $329.7 billion.
Your heart can kill you in more than one way. The primary way is through dietary fat intake. The way that this can happen is every time you consume dietary saturated fat or cholesterol. These fat lipids slip through your endothelial cells, which are the thin layer inside of your arterial wall. Plaque builds behind this wall over time, and eventually enough plaque will build that the arterial wall will either tear or will pinch together entirely enough to cause a blood clot. This will lead to a stroke or heart attack and death. Another way you can experience death through cardiovascular obstruction is basically through arterial spasm. Your blood vessels are all surrounded by a muscular system in which, in stressful situations or in not enough arterial health, your muscular arterial walls can spasm, and if they pinch together for a long enough period of time, you will experience stroke, heart attack, and/or death. Heart attacks.
All right, what do we got?
Just came in. Heart attack. 5'9", 300 pounds, 32 years old.
How the hell does that happen?
Addiction. something most everyone associates with only hardcore drugs, smoking, and even sexual intercourse. But the reality is that addiction is right in front of your face on your plate 3 times a day. People completely ignore the fact that you are so emotionally dependent each and every second on the things that you put inside of your mouth. In a world where society has been set up to fail, subsidizing animal products through mass production and factory farming of unhealthy food products that are designed to taste great but destroy your health at the same time. A society where every food is processed, stripped down to its unnatural state, then mixed all together into one shelf-stable product to put you inside of your grave.
I still can't believe you give this child French fries.
I know, but it's the only thing that'll make him stop.
Your child's future doesn't have to look like this. There is still time to reverse the unhealthy habits our kids take into adulthood.
Simple rule of modern eating: fatty foods in huge portions are bad for you. But you're about to enter a dietary twilight zone, a restaurant that makes the potentially harmful nature of its food a selling point.
In a country where calories are posted on the menu and the White House has a vegetable garden, sometimes the reality looks more like this. This monument to greasy gluttony is called the Heart Attack Grill.
PBR.
It's a sort of hospital-themed Hooters located in Chandler, Arizona, a suburb of Phoenix.
We have full sugar Mexican Coke. Get your arms in over here.
Every customer must wear a hospital gown.
I'm dying.
And they are waited on by scantily clad nurses. Still, it's what's on the menu that gets most of the attention. The single, double, triple, or quadruple bypass burger. Oh, and they do have fries called flatliner fries, fried in lard, and those are unlimited. To wash it all down, how about a butterfat shake? The restaurant has become a bit of a national sensation.
I'm up another few inches. Who
in no small part thanks to this very big man, Blair River, the so-called spokesmodel of the Heart Attack Grill, featured in a series of tongue-in-cheek commercials that have gone viral.
I'm at 570 pounds, 6'8", yeah, so.
We met Blair in January. Back then, he told us one of the perks of the job is eating free. Anyone who is over 350 pounds doesn't have to pay.
I'm big, you know what I mean? And so why not? I don't eat here every day, so why not have fun with it and go with it as long as I can?
Sadly, we now know how long that was. Blair died last week at the age of 29. His family says the cause of death was pneumonia. The CDC says every year, 112,000 deaths can be linked to obesity. When your spokesperson drops dead at the age of 29, and he's morbidly obese by anybody's estimation, don't you have a problem?
Absolutely. Who wouldn't?
John Basso owns the Heart Attack Grill. As part of the act, he dresses up like a doctor.
Every single person cared about Blair. Had he have been thinner, he most probably would have survived that pneumonia. And that's a hard fact that I'm not here to deny.
There's an argument to be made that you used this guy during his life, and that now you are very morbidly using his death to continue to promote your restaurant.
I absolutely agree. And in a very sick way, his death has gotten the message out further.
So this man's death has not given you pause at all?
Zero pause.
For a man who is making an awful lot of money serving up artery-clogging burgers, Basso has a most unusual justification: that America needs shock therapy to cure its obesity epidemic. He says he tried other messages. He once owned a chain of Jenny Craig weight loss centers and several personal training studios.
I hope that every single person out there comes in and buys a hamburger and a t-shirt from me. But you know what? I am saying loudly and as clearly as any business in America can, this is dangerous.
Oh, he's using it as a marketing tool. I mean, the word that just leaps to mind is hypocrisy.
You won't be surprised to hear real nutritionists take issue with this fake doctor and argue he's laughing all the way to the bank.
I think there are real ethical issues in what he's doing. If he believed that diet had nothing to do with health and was selling those foods, then at least you could think, well, okay, he's misinformed. But he knows what he's doing. He's deliberately trying to get people to eat more than they need.
Blair, you say, was also your friend in addition to working with you.
I loved working with him.
Do you have a conscience at all?
My conscience is simply this. What would Blair, hovering above me, want me to do right now? And Blair would say this, put back on the stethoscope. Let's keep being the doctor that everyone loves to hate, because that really gets the message out.
To keep delivering that message, a week after Blair's untimely death, the Heart Attack Grill has another spokesmodel.
Here you go.
Ernie Hart. Yes, that's his real last name. And yes, he is chowing down on a quadruple bypass.
Even though my cardiologist and my wife tell me not to come, and after surviving a coma and multiple heart surgeries, I still come. I enjoy the burgers.
Ernie was actually the spokesperson before Blair, but had to take a few months off after open heart surgery.
From baby, that's the taste that's worth dying for.
Now Blair is dead and Ernie's back. The fact that you stuffed him full of burgers for free as often as he wanted, what share of the responsibility do you have for his death?
The equal share with anybody who provided junk food to anybody.
Aren't you glorifying obesity, which obviously kills?
Absolutely. I think it would be immoral to stop at this point.
Explain that to me.
We're past the point of no return at the Heart Attack Grill. We have blood on our hands at this point.
You have some easy to remember adages about how people can decide what they should or should not eat.
We know what they shouldn't eat. That is oil, dairy, meat, fish, and chicken. What do we want them to eat? We want them to eat all those whole grains for their cereal, bread, and pasta, beans, vegetables, yellow, red, green, and fruit. Now, what particular vegetables do we want them to have? Bok choy, Swiss chard, kale, collards, collard green, beet greens, mustard green, turnip greens, Napa cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, cilantro, parsley, spinach, and arugula, and asparagus. And I'm out of breath.
Now, the mantra is, eat nothing that has a mother or a face. Dr. Esselstyn and other researchers insist if you stick to that advice, you won't have a heart attack in the first place.